Let's bring in Jennifer Mccoy, live from Atlanta via Skype. She's a professor of political science at Georgia State University. Professor, let's begin with this special assembly that's supposed to rewrite the Constitution. It consists of 545 people, as we heard our reporter Stephen Gibbs mention, and it sounds like they will have considerable power.
They will, certainly. They not only can write a new constitution, but also disband existing institutions, including the existing legislature, if they want to. They could also change the mandate of the current president. So this is one of the big questions, is the leadership of this new assembly does include some rivals of President Maduro, or potential rivals. And the question is, will they all be united, or will they be jockeying for power among themselves? But I imagine that the leadership will be basically directing the assembly because, as Stephen noted, many of these are people with no background, no political background or experience.
And of course, there are questions about the validity of Sunday's vote, claims of voter fraud. At the end of the day, does that matter? Will it change anything?
It matters in terms of particularly international perception. Over a dozen countries, up to 20, I believe now, have said they will not accept the authority of this new Constituent Assembly, which will be making decisions not just for Venezuela's constitution, but potentially for financial transactions, foreign investments, foreign debt, joint ventures. So this could be critical if foreign governments refuse to recognize those decisions.
And the U.S. has already imposed a number of sanctions on Venezuela. Let's talk about the standoff between the opposition and the government. More than 120 people have lost their lives since April. Do you expect these protests to continue, and will the situation only get worse?
I think it'll get worse in the short term, but these kinds of situations are difficult to predict when something unexpected can happen to change the course. The statement by the voting machine manufacturer Smartmatic this week was one of those things, a surprising, unprecedented statement that in fact votes had been invented. And just thinking back to Peru in 2000, the downfall of Fujimori at that point came about because of an unexpected leak of films, of videos showing bribery and blackmail by that government.
And let me talk about the economic meltdown. We're talking about severe food shortages, long lines for bread, triple-digit inflation, unemployment. I can go on and on. How much has that been at the heart of this political crisis?
Very much at the heart, because so many people are suffering and want to see, at least a change in economic policy. And the government has just been stubborn in maintaining its policy despite all the evidence of the suffering that it's causing. Now, the question, though, is whether the political opposition in the so-called mood can join forces with dissident Chavistas, those who have supported Chavez in the past but don't support Maduro now. Can they join forces? That would really strengthen the opposition to Maduro and the pressure to consider some changes and concessions.
And Professor Mccoy, finally, French President Emmanuel Macron pushing for mediation efforts. He tried to get the two sides or the rival factions in Libya to get together and talk. Could his mediation efforts work in Venezuela?
Well, we probably need some new actors. The Vatican, as was noted, is speaking out now, but had tried in the fall and failed. South American Organization of Nations has failed. Former Spanish President Zapatero has failed so far. There will be new attempts, could be new groups of countries, including France, who could possibly begin again.
All right, we'll leave it there. Professor Jennifer Mccoy from Georgia State University, my home state. Thank you so much.